All right. Hello, everybody. It is currently November 24th, 2024, and I'm coming at you from the state of Minnesota. I'm in a chipper mood, all right, if you can't tell. It's been above freezing for the last couple of days, so I'm pretty hyped about that. You know what I mean? You don't need to bundle up. I don't feel the wind and the cold tearing the skin off my face when I go outside, so I mean, I'm pretty fucking hyped about that. It's still gray as all hell. I haven't seen the sun maybe a week and a half. And that's not just because I'm a fucking depressed vampire that spends all day in my room. All right. It's just where we're at in time and space. Um, but today's episode, we're getting a little bit scientific, not too terribly scientific, dude. After I tried to explain how planes work, how jets work, how engines work, I was like, let's go back to what we know, dude. Animals. Animals are, simple enough. We're not getting too deep. Animals don't have jet engines in them. And so that's what we're doing today. We're doing monotremes today, which is basically the modern day egg laying mammals. Um, I was gonna do these things called cnidarians, but I was like, dude, cnidarian, it's spelled Cnidarians, and I was like, dude, two consonants in a row to start a word it's crazy, unless it's like a th or a tr. But dude, CN, I knew nobody's clicking on that episode. No one's clicking on the episode regardless. But I mean, that that's crazy, dude. A C and an N, that's scary, dude. I can't blame anyone for thinking that. But monotremes, I feel like that's you know what I mean? That's a relatable thing. People are curious, especially when I put like the clickbait name in there. You know what I mean? I'm thinking the living omelet for this one because they have milk and eggs. But we'll get to that later. They're not really a living omelet. Um, But yeah, so monotremes. We're going to start with evolution. We're going to talk about modern monotremes. We're going to talk a little bit about the Australian Aboriginal relationship to them. Shout out. Um, yeah, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about Perry the platypus. All right. Um, but yeah, I think let's just get into it. So the evolution. And by the way, if anyone tells you that like they figured out evolution, dude, they haven't. They just can't. With the amount of fossils they have, or the lack of fossils they have, no one really knows what's going on. So this is kind of a rough idea of how we got here. Or the other answer is God, for some reason, decided to make some of these dudes lay eggs. I don't know. Either way, it's a pretty interesting fucking story. So, I mean, Bible is the greatest story ever told. Real or not real, it's fucking fire, dude. Like every other shit's based on that. All right, goddamn, dude. Tried to sound smart there for a second. We fucked up. All right, let's get into the notes, dude. That's why I have the notes because I can't freestyle like that. Um, but mammals. So mammals split from birds and reptiles about 300 million years ago, which I read that and I was like, that's honestly pretty early. You know what I mean? I didn't know we had like squirrels running around in dinosaur times and shit, but and these weren't exactly like they weren't perfect mammals right away or like modern mammals right away. You know what I mean? They still kind of looked lizardy. They still weren't like fully um warm-blooded and shit. So they were what's called proto mammals, and they were that way for a decent chunk of time. But paleontologists believe that live birth in marsupials and mammals is an ancestral trait, meaning it comes from one split in the evolutionary path about 160 million years ago. So, yeah, w- we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But so, live birth is something that happened that separated marsupials and placental mammals from monotremes. And so, yeah, that's what they think happened. They don't think it was a convergent thing. It's not like marsupials split off and placental mammals split off and they both independently came up with live birth. They think it was one split. The split was live birth, if that makes sense. God damn it, dude. I said we're not going to get too sciencey. All right, I think that is the most sciencey thing that I have to try to explain, which is good. But that they're saying that happened about 160 million years ago, give or take 10 million years, which is It's crazy when people are like, dude, it's just 10 million years. Who cares what the difference is, dude? That's like the most time ever. Like humans haven't been. You can't fathom how long 10 million years is, dude. I can't fathom 6 months. I'm like, dude, 6 months, that's never going to happen. Let's be honest here. 6 months from now doesn't exist. I don't care about it. Or maybe I'm just retarded. I mean, that could very well be the truth. You guys listen to the intro to this podcast, so you can tell. But anyway, so and the reason that this particular kind of field of evolution is kind of hard to figure out is because proto mammal, like I was saying, kind of half lizard, half mammal type of things, eggs is hard to find because they don't fossilize well because they're like soft shell. You know what I mean? If you guys have ever like watched a nature documentary and watched like a turtle lay like 10,000 eggs or whatever, which by the way, dude, I mean disgusting. That shit th- does not look right. You know what I mean? I think we started giving live birth just based on how disgusting it looks to lay eggs. Because I love nature documentaries, but goddamn, do I always skip past the turtle part, dude? It's just like wet eggs coming out of a fucking flesh tube. It's disgusting. I'd rather watch a lady give birth. I'm gonna say it. Um, and that's not just because I'm very cool. Um, yeah, so they don't really fossilize well. These like weird soft shell eggs, unlike like dinosaur eggs and bird eggs, which are obviously hard shelled. So we don't really know what's going on. Or we look. I don't know what's going on regardless of any scientific information that's out there. And I assume that's the same for anyone that's listening to this. Um, so scientists, paleontologists don't really know what's going on. Exactly. They have some ideas. Um, they're able to kind of tell based on other fossils. So what that means is the pelvis of an animal that lays eggs and the pelvis of an animal that gives birth they're very different for the most part, especially nowadays when animals that give live birth have evolved for 100 million years in one way and animals that lay eggs have evolved, 100 million years in the other. It's very easy to tell. At this point in time, it was kind of similar. Um, and we're not going to get into the details of how that happened, if they know at all. Um, I mean, like live birth, but yeah, they look at the fossilized pelvises of these animals. And I was like, pelvises or is it pelvi? And then that brings up a whole nother can of worms. Are we talking Elvises or Elvi? Because we know there's more than one Elvis. Anyone that's been to Las Vegas, if you know my great aunt Sandy, you know there's, I mean, hundreds of Elvises out there. She's a big Elvis fan, always going to see Elvis impersonators. Which I mean, is Elvis like the Taylor Swift of that time? Because I've listened to the music. Look, obviously it's fucking Elvis, but it's like just her, especially his later shit, dude. Like, okay, this guy was like 2 years out from dying on the toilet from taking too many pills. You know what I mean? He literally could not shit. And you're telling me his music was good at that point? I don't believe it. I don't. He was eating what? Peanut butter and nanner sandwiches every day? I don't believe it, dude. And it's not like he was a musical genius either. You know what I mean? When it's like Johnny Cash or some of these other guys, Nirvana, like Nirvana kind of created this whole genre of music. So it's like when that guy killed himself allegedly, it's a little bit more understandable. Look, we're not going to get into whether Kurt Cobain killed himself, but it's more understandable that he did. Like his brain is just capable of coming up with so much you have to imagine it came up with some pretty depressing ideas, which is probably why he did heroin. So, but Elvis's, Elvi, who knows? Kurtai, I don't know, man. But why did non-lay egg-laying mammals take over? It's probably because birth ensures that babies are more developed, and this would make them less vulnerable. Yeah. So basically, what that means is, um, fuck, what was I gonna say? They can basically just have a higher survival rate. You know what I mean? Versus things that lay eggs. And the only upside of eggs is simply that more young may be produced, so you can lay more eggs than you can give live birth to. But modern monotremes only lay like 2 to 3 eggs at a time, which is kind of why these dudes dominated. But And the reason that monotremes only exist in Papua New Guinea, uh, Australia, and I think Tasmania is because those areas are just so isolated that they were able to continue living there, despite it not being the best method. Apparently, they used to be in South America and Madagascar too, but the boys got taken out. You know what I mean? King Julian fucking saw that platypus, snapped his neck, said, "I run this shit now." All right, so that's what happened. And I got a little, uh, it's called a phylogeny, but it's basically just like an evolutionary tree showing when everything kind of split off. So I guess you can Google it and find a better version, or you can look at the Instagram. Dude, I have not been drawing enough pictures lately. Did the last one even have a picture? God damn it, dude. I didn't even have a map on the last one. Whatever. Um Look, I'm gonna try to find things that can get more pictures. Next week we'll have a map on it. Next week is the Thanksgiving special. We're gonna be talking engines. What kind? Who knows? We're probably gonna be talking a couple of kinds, but who cares? Modern monotremes. That's where we're going now, baby. All right. So the name. All right. No laughing. I feel like a fucking biology teacher. All right. I feel like a dude that spent 4 years getting a degree to be mocked by 14-year-olds. But look, no fucking laughing. I swear to God. Tanner, if you fucking laugh, you piece of shit. I know. I see you back there. I see you back there trying to sneak us in, you motherfucker. That's why your parents got divorced because you don't know how to fucking behave. All right, Tanner. I swear to God, if you laugh on this one, the name comes from the Greek mono or monos, which means single, and trema, which means hole, because they only have one hole. Tanner, I see you back there. Fucking all right. Anyway, I'm sending Tanner out of the room for this next part. All right, no more laughing, anyone. But all right, yeah, they only have one hole. Look, I'm not gonna go into any more detail than that. All right, because it doesn't matter. Um, that isn't the only thing that makes them different from other mammals, and they have a lot, dude. Like these guys are kind of like they're kind of like what's that female rugby player? No, I'm not gonna say it. Iona, whatever her fucking name is. Like how that lady's a woman, these guys are mammals. Like it's like yeah, for sure they are, but like at the same time, I could see if it went the other way. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking shit about anyone. She's a beast, obviously. But I mean, you have a neck that wide. I could see if maybe you were, not a woman. Same with these dudes, you know what I mean? The way they walk, we're gonna get into it. Um, they also lack a strong connection between the right and left hemispheres of the brain, a trait they share with marsupials and reptiles. And like, I guess not birds. Birds are pretty smart, but yeah, I guess marsupials and monotremes and reptiles are all just pretty dumb. And reptiles are definitely the dumbest of that group because they don't like fuck, what was I gonna say? Because they're cold blooded. So you know what I mean? It kind of depends on the temperature, which by the way, I'm kind of finding out I'm cold blooded too, dude. It's starting to get cold out here, like I was saying. And when I woke up this morning, I was like, I don't know if I can record a podcast because it was cold, and I was like, dude, I can't. You know what I mean? I literally couldn't move or think. I might be an iguana. You know what I mean? Just put me in a cold room, and I can't move. I can't do anything. I need a hot rock right now, stat. I feel like if they ever take me to the hospital, dude, just any problem can be fixed with a hot rock. Or maybe that just means you're depressed. You know what I mean? If you're just like, I feel cold inside, so I need to be hot outside. I think that's kind of like depression, but who gives a fuck, dude? Marsupials can't get depressed. They don't even know what the other half of their brain is thinking. That's how dumb they are. But no, they do have some connection. Um, but yeah, I guess we just figured that out in a way that they didn't. But monotremes also have no teats, and I'm fucking glad I sent Tanner out of the room for that one. All right, because he definitely would have fucking look at your teats, Mister Independent Learning. Fucking dickhead. Look, all right, I'm fat. My wife's cheating on you. My son's black, all right, and me and my wife are white. You think I'm happy? You think that's why I have man boobs, all right? I'm just eating Cheetos all day. Looking at that little motherfucker. Look, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at that. All right. All right. My son looks like Jason Tatum, and me and my wife are both visually white. We both look like vampires, dude. You tell me that I shouldn't fucking have tits, Tanner. Piece of shit. But anyway, look, you guys are just gonna have to stick with me through some of these episodes, because this one, I'm trying to freestyle right now. Obviously, it's not going well, but monotremes don't have as much information on them as you might think. They're kind of just like shitty mammals, is what I figured out. But they're interesting. They're really only interesting in one way, and that's that they lay eggs. I guess they are retarded, which is cool, but other than that, not too interesting. And they don't even lay that many eggs. And by the way, the echidna, we'll get to it later. That one barely counts, but who cares? Um, so monotremes have no teats, unlike me. Um, but adult monotremes don't have teeth, and this may be due to the development of electroreception, a sense which allows them to sense the electric fields of other animals. Yeah, these guys could have been predator. We should be thanking God that they're as retarded and as physically weak as they are. You know what I mean? Because if these dudes don't even need eyes, we're fucked. It was over from the beginning, and we should thank God. You know what I mean? That they're dumb as hell. Same thing with the dinosaurs. God damn it, dude. I'm just imagining this scenario in my head, and it's getting me so angry I can't talk. Imagining Tanner making fun of me. Your son looks a little dark, Mr. C. Isn't that weird? And I just then I just go full jarhead on Tanner's bitch ass, dude. I give him a gun and I make him put it in my mouth, and I say, "Pull the trigger, pussy!" I go white boy crazy on Tanner in front of the whole class, and then I come in the next day like nothing happened, or like I'm kind of ashamed at first, but then I'm like, "Fuck it, fuck these kids. It's their fault anyway." And that's why I couldn't be a teacher. That's why I can't work any normal job really, because the second anyone wrongs me slightly, I'd do that. I'd put a gun in my up to my head and be like, "This is all your fault." That's just the type of guy I am. I do that to everyone in my life, and it works really well. You guys should try it. You guys should try threatening suicide constantly. Just kidding, guys. I'm not a woman. All right. But anyway, yeah, we're lucky these guys are as dumb as they are. But their ears are the same as ours because they're not like free floating in their skull. They're like actually like implanted in there somehow. But they evolved independently. So reptiles have these free floating ears. We don't. Marsupials don't. These guys don't. But I mean, obviously the split happened in there. So yeah, it's the same as ours, but it developed independently, and it's like different. Like their ears are at the bottom of their jaws for some reason. I don't know, dude. When I got to this part, I was like, this is a little too in depth. I feel like this is more advanced than jet engines. You know what I mean? I'm examining fossil records and shit. I can't. It all looks the same to me. All right, I'm gonna be honest. Um, yeah, and the fossils are pretty shitty. Like these guys, swing and a miss monotremes. I mean, it's cool, but we got to figure something out. You know what I mean? We got to figure out either a way to connect the brains or you're given live birth, because this is not working, obviously. Um, but yeah, another thing they have weird. Uh, their sex chromosomes. You guys are lucky I already went white boy crazy, because I'd be screaming at Tanner right now for giggling. Sex chromosomes? Really? That's what you're gonna laugh about? Oh, your wife had sex with another man. Fucking kill me, Tanner. All right, dude. But they're different. They're more like birds than they are mammals. It's not something that like a trait that they share with birds, but it's more similar to the way birds do things. So I guess they do kind of share it with birds, but it's not because they're more closely related. It's just like a happenstance. Um, and their walk is a little bit more like a reptile. So yeah. And I said these guys are like the Megan Markle of mammals. You know how like the news was calling Meghan Markle, she's like the princess of England or like whatever. I don't know. Everything I know about Meghan Markle has come from Tim Dillon, and that guy's crazier and also smarter than I am. Um, and far gayer than I'll ever be. You know what I mean? Like as shitty as my jokes are, and as gay as they are, I'll never be as gay as Tim Dillon. Which I mean, good thing or bad thing, who's to know? Um, I am prone to hemorrhoids though, so maybe it's a good thing I'm not. You know what I mean? I wouldn't perform well in the community. Um, but yeah, like they kept calling her black, and I was like looking at this lady, and I was like, that's a white lady, dude. I guess maybe technically she counts. Maybe in England she's black, but dude, in America, that lady's a full honky. You know what I mean? So I was like, these guys are kind of like the Megan Markle. Like they walk, they don't walk like us. They don't lay, or they don't give live birth. They're kind of like birds in their sex chromosomes. Um, and also they have turtle dicks apparently. You know what I mean? These guys are wiling out. These guys are a combination of all different animals, which we'll get to, by the way. Um, I just sounded like a fucking 12-year-old right there, dude. Um, just like when that test hits you all at once, when you're in like fifth grade or whatever, and you're just raging, gritting your teeth constantly for no reason. You're feeling emotions you've never felt before. Everyone's been through it. I was just thinking about puberty hitting you like a truck, dude. You're just angry all the time. You're not talking to anyone for some reason. You just stop talking, or at least that's what happened to me, dude. Maybe I hit puberty and became a psychopath. Who knows? That's kind of what it sounded like, dude. I think I just became Dahmer in fifth grade. I just stopped talking to people. I was angry all the time for no horny and angry all the time, which is the worst combination. Happy and horny, you can get away with. Horny and angry, no. That's how we get, you know what I mean, like Pol Pot. You know what I mean? Pol Pot was definitely just dick hard, gritting his teeth when he killed like half his country. So it's not a good thing. And I don't really know. I'm gonna say it. Monotremes are definitely low test animals. They're just not built like that. Oh, and shit, I forgot to say earlier when we were talking about electroreception, we were talking about how these guys are predators. Echidnas, which are the only other type of monotreme other than platypus, are the only fully terrestrial mammal or animal, I think, of any kind that has electroreception, which is, I mean, pretty fucking sick. And all they use it for is ants, dude. If I had that shit, I'd be finding pussy everywhere. Dude. You know what I mean? I'd be sensing that shit out. I'd be like, too hairy, too tight, perfect. That's what I'd be doing. I'm a virgin. It's the funniest part about that is that I'm a virgin, dude. I'd be daredevil and pussy. If I had echolocation, I'd just be finding the biggest tits in whatever room I walked into and then tripping into them. You know what I mean? If I was blind, I'd be like big ass titties detected. Walk with my cane. Oh, sorry, sir. Sir, I get it that you tripped, but why are you sucking on my tits right now? I'm blind, lady. All right, maybe you'll heal me. Who knows? But all right. So yeah, these guys are kind of all 50 shades of fucked up. Um, but we're gonna be talking about the life of a monotreme. You know what I mean? What you'd experience if you were one of these barely functioning animals. You know what I mean? Um, so monotreme puggles, which is what the babies are called, which is it's pretty cute. But the babies are not cute. Are hatched about 10 days after the eggs are laid, which, if you know anything, that's pretty quick. So I assume that they develop partially before they're laid, which I mean that might give us an insight as to how live birth evolved. Um, because you just keep the eggs in there the entire time, and that's how it evolved in like other animals. Like other animals do have live birth, but it's kind of different than ours because the eggs hatch inside them, as opposed to ours, which is the egg is fertilized and the thing just grows from there. The baby just grows from there. Um, but yeah, gives us some insights into what happened, maybe potentially. Um, but yeah, so they hatch about 10 days, and it's pretty quick, and it's the same for like platypus and echidna. Um, and they're basically useless at first. Like, there's no reason for them to be laying eggs. You might as well give live birth at this point because these guys are completely fucking useless. Um, they can only move their front two limbs and that's just so that they can get milk. Um, and if you're an echidna, you're getting in a pouch. And what's up with Australian animals and being in pouches, by the way? Only other animal I've heard with a pouch is this fucker. I guess possums do technically have a pouch, but I think it's an Australian thing more than it is, a marsupial or a monotreme thing. Um, but these guys do have pouches, or echidnas do at least, for a couple of months, and then you live in a den for about a year, and you have no dad, which is, yeah, that's tough, dude. But hey, no dad, no discipline. It's fucking party time. You're just drinking milk out of your weird beak, and then yeah, it's fucking lit, dude. If you're a platypus, look, you're getting straight into the den. You know what I mean? You don't get no pouch, but the den is it's pretty fucking lit. You know what I mean? It's like a big ass tunnel, and then it's a little, a room at the end of the tunnel. That's basically the setup you got going on if you're a baby platypus. But yeah, this tunnel's fucking huge. It's about 65 feet long, and this is what you get over the echidna. I mean, you don't get the pouch, but you get teeth. Which I mean, which would you rather have? You don't get teeth the whole time though, so I think I'm still going pouch. But teeth are pretty sick. And you know what I mean? Platypus, like no one cares about echidnas. It's kind of like it's a fucking weird anteater hedgehog. Who gives a shit? Platypus, dude. That fucker's a combination of every animal on Earth. It's the sickest thing ever. Compared to just that weird anteater thing, I don't know. I think I'd rather be a platypus. But the pouch is it's pretty sick, dude. Just riding along, drinking milk all day. Dude, that's my perfect life. Not moving and just drinking milk all day. I think isn't that the dude from Dune? Isn't that what he does? Or am I thinking of Mad Max Fury Road? There's someone that just chills all day drinking milk that's not an echidna, and that's kind of pissing me off. But um, and that's kind of like a marsupial too, like I said. And you also have a deadbeat dad. You know what I mean? Monotremes are not the best fathers, and it's really a question of nature versus nurture. Like, is it the culture of monotremes that makes them abandon their children, or is it, just inherently who they are? Damn it, dude. That one, if anything's gonna get me in trouble, because that sounded like I was trying to make a serious point. It was a joke. Um, because I don't know. Subversion of expectations. I don't know what makes shit funny, which is why I'm not funny. Um, which is what I was thinking about, dude. It's like people are like shitting on that Hawk Tuah girl. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, she said one funny thing and decided to start a podcast. Or people are like, it's not even funny. And it's like, dude, more people have laughed at that than have laughed at anything me or anyone that could be listening to this have ever said. You know what I mean? Anyone listening to this, even if 10,000 people listen to this, not one of them would have made as many people laugh as that retarded slut did. So, and that's also, I can't even shit on that game plan, dude, because I'm doing the exact same thing right now. I made like someone laugh in 8th grade, and I was like, I'm never working. I can't get a job. That's what I decided. Um, so I can't even shit on the grind. You know what I mean? But that's probably why monotremes are such sluts, though. You know what I mean? They're like the Hawk Tuah slut because they didn't have their fathers in their lives. Um, but look, you're gonna spend most of your life eating bugs, but the only thing hunting you is other animals, and you might get the occasional like Australian Aboriginal or like Papua New Guinea dude, snatching you up and munching you. Yeah, if you're or if you're a platypus, they're protected now, but I don't think that's stopping the Aboriginals from munching the tails. Apparently, they loved munching the tails of the platypus because there was a lot of fat in there and stuff. Um, and I'm sure they're still doing it, dude. Like Australia, there's like the vast majority of Australia doesn't have police, and so I'm sure if these dudes want to munch them, they can. But in Dreamtime stories, and this is a throwback to our very first episode, which was about Australian Aboriginal spirituality. We didn't really talk too much about the Dreamtime, but that's kind of like a big like facet of their religion. You know what I mean? It's story time basically. Um, so in one story, uh, the different types of animals competed to have the platypus join their group. but he didn't join any of the groups because he wanted to be friends with everyone. Gay, dude. And look, we're gonna talk about the echidna story. The echidna story is alpha as fuck. You know what I mean? But yeah, join a group, platypus. They're starting to piss me off. You know what I mean? It's fun at first. It's like hanging out with someone that smokes weed all the time. You know what I mean? It's fun at first. You're like, oh yeah, we're getting high every day. Eventually, you get tired of it, and you're like, dude, the room smells like shit. Nothing's clean. Let's fucking switch things around. All right, that's what they got to do. Look, and I'm not saying you got to stop laying eggs, but get some teats or connect both half of your brains. All right, because you can't be doing all that shit at once. Or you can change your dick, get more than one hole. I don't know, dude. All right, but we gotta figure shit out. Platypus and echidna. That's why you're getting munched by the Aboriginals, dude. Because you can't figure the kangaroo. Those guys are dominating right now. Meanwhile, you're just out here getting fucking your tail lopped off, turned into soup. Because you can't think for two fucking whatever. These are monotremes the tanner of the animal world. Am I just gonna have to lecture them endlessly? Because I mean, I'm willing to. All right. No, I'm not, dude. If monotremes make fun of the fact that my wife cheated on me, I'd kick them out immediately. I'd kill them all. But anyway, um, so kind of gay. There's other stories and stuff, but it all kind of involves different animals of different types fucking each other. In one story, the platypus gets kicked out because no one likes the way he looks. But yeah, and that's just, I guess they're coming up with how it was made. That- That's the Australian Aboriginal version of how it's made. You know what I mean? You know that show where that boring guy talks for, hours and you just sleep while you listen to it? Um that's the Australian Aboriginal version, dude. Today we're going to be talking about how, I don't know, what do Aboriginals have? A kangaroo was made, a donkey fucked a rabbit, and that's it. Look, I had to go Australian accent because I feel like I'm white, you know what I mean? So I couldn't try to go full abo, but I played it safe. And that's how they talk. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's like there's a slight difference in it, especially if they're like super isolated, but it seems pretty similar from the very limited times I've seen Aboriginals talk. Not the language, dude. Their languages are fucking, they definitely match like the vibe of Australia. When people are like Australia is the most dangerous continent, you listen to the way Aboriginals talk or like some of the languages, it's like, dude, Arabic type tough. And those fuckers came out of a pile of sand. You know what I mean? The Bedouins at least did. So same with Hebrew. Why is Hebrew? Ugh, I guess I get why Hebrew is like such an angry sounding language. You know what I mean? Because that Mediterranean coast is nice, but that's not where they ended up, dude. We'll say that much. But yeah. So, and we talked about totems, which are, it's like a representation of a tribe, and it's like an animal that you have like a spiritual connection to somehow. And so, and it's not like a literal what we think of like a totem, like a figurine or whatever. It's like a something you have a spiritual connection to. And the platypus is the totem animal of the Wadi Wadi tribe, group, band, clan, whatever it's called. Um, yeah, so they take care of that guy. The Wadi Wadi definitely, maybe they were munching tail. I'm trying to munch some tail. Hey, fucking gonna get a hell yeah, dude. Um, but yeah, the Wadi Wadi, maybe they might have been munching tail because I feel like it's like a buffalo in North America type thing. You know what I mean? It's like buffalo are fucking sick, but also we got to eat them occasionally. Got to eat some buff, which is what I'm trying to do, dude. I'm trying to go to the bar and eat some buffalo too. I'm talking wings. Oh, can I get a hell yeah? Fuck it, dude. This episode, pure bullshit. Look, I'm telling you, I thought these guys were more interesting than they were, but um, and echidnas as a whole, there's four different species, but to these guys, it's all the fucking same. You know what I mean? They're a totem of the Manwayan or Anawayan. Anaiwan, Anawayan, some Anawan, Anawan. something like that. I'm sure that's not even close because that's like the anglicized version of the name already. So I mean, but maybe I fucked it up so much I brought it back to like the Australian Aboriginal way of saying it. Who knows? Um, but yeah, echidnas, that's their totem. You know what I mean? They're taking care of them, and I imagine there's not much to munch on an echidna, so I don't think they're eating them like they're eating the platypus. But one Dreamtime story says that an echidna named Piggi-Billi, and so Piggi-Billi, I guess, was a dude at first. I don't know. Piggi-Billi, he was like a hunter or whatever. Um, and he got to like an old age, and for some reason he started luring young men to his camp to kill them and eat them. I guess he wasn't doing that the whole time, but only when he got old. And they tried to get him to stop by eating kangaroo meat, and he just won. He was like, "Dude, I want these young boys." You know what I mean? This guy was Diddy. It should be the Diddy Billa, dude, because this guy was getting the young boys and you know what I mean, putting them in a fuck it. Um, but yeah, and he was munching on them. And the tribe was having none of this, or the clan or whatever. And so they came into his camp. They came into Diddy Billa's camp, and he was sleeping, dude. He was sleeping ass up. He just ate a young boy, and he was sleeping ass up. And they threw a bunch of spears into his back, and they broke his arms and his legs, and that's how the echidnas came to be. Which I mean, this is like the complete opposite of that first platypus story. And I was thinking, dude, this tribe that came up with this story must have dominated the fucking tribe that came up with that bitch ass platypus story, dude. They were like, yeah, we're throwing spears into motherfuckers and breaking all their legs. And that's how the echidnas were made. And these gay ass dudes are like, the platypus wanted to be friends with every dude. These guys must have fucked them up. Just pulled up on them. Like, we'll show you how an echidna's made, bitch. That's how these guys were moving. And I don't know what tribe that came from. I'll leave a link to a website that has the story on it, and maybe who knows? Maybe like for the first year anniversary episode, um, we'll do like a I don't know if I could fucking maybe a year for or like 6 months from now, more like 8 months. Maybe I'll be slightly better at this, and I can like actually get like an Aboriginal to talk about it, talk about the stories, talk about the dream time. You know what I mean? Or just like someone who knows more than me, which is that's not hard to find, dude. I feel like we could. How many people live in Australia? Like 30 million? I'm guessing there's at least 10 million of those that have a better understanding than me about this. Um, but yeah, dude, this tribe must have been beast. Ha- Maybe I can find it on here. Find out which tribe fucking came up with this wild ass story, dude. The Piggi-Billi. No, I can't figure it out. But these guys must have been fucking animals, dude, if that's the story they were coming up with. Um, but and so yeah, like I was saying, they only live in Australia and Papua New Guinea, and we only got 5 monotreme species alive. We got 1 platypus and 4 echidnas. Which I mean, everyone's thinking what I'm thinking. Wish it could have been switched around. Wish we could have had like different types of platypus and shit. Um, but look, this is what we get. All right, and at least echidnas, you know what I mean? They have that electroreception or whatever. It's pretty sick. You know what I mean? They're in a Sonic the Hedgehog. They're not too bad, you know what I mean? Laying eggs and stuff, they are pretty fucking boring. I'll give you that. It's like if the only species of dinosaur was like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then I don't know what's the most boring fucking dinosaur, and then like chickens. You know what I mean? Because aren't they technically dinosaurs or something? I don't fucking know. But that's basically what we're dealing with here. It's like we either got this fucking amalgamation of every animal on Earth, and then a shitty hedgehog anteater. But look, it's what we got. We can't be too upset about it. One new echidna species was discovered in the Cyclops Mountains, sick as hell, uh, which are in Papua New Guinea, like northern Papua New Guinea, uh, kind of right on the border between Indonesia and New Guinea, um, in 2023, and it was named after David Attenborough. And I definitely spelled David Attenborough wrong, dude. There's like 18 G's in there. I definitely spelled it wrong. But this species was like someone like saw like a dead one, like a local tribe probably like was munching on one, and some dude was like, I've never seen that before. And that happened in the 1960s, but they didn't get video footage of it And dude, apparently when they went to the Cyclops Mountains, they discovered like 10 new species of shit. They discovered like a species of shrimp that lives in trees. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably leave a link to that down below too, because they discovered a whole bunch of new shit up in these mountains, including this echidna, which I mean, it is pretty. It's not the coolest looking thing on Earth, but it's pretty sick. Um, and the biggest monotreme ever was just a 60-pound echidna. So I mean, look, these guys, you can't have everything. You know what I mean? You can't be the only egg-laying mammal and like dominate the Earth. So we're just gonna have to take an L on this one, on this whole episode. I think that's maybe the best choice. Next episode will probably be better, but also far more racist because we are going to be talking about the Indians, and we're probably going to be talking about my tribe too. So at least I won't be able to get in trouble for it, unlike this one. And look, I know what you guys were all thinking this entire time. When are we getting to Perry the Platypus? How do I get one of these things into my house? You're not getting a platypus into your house. I hate to fucking break it to you. A platypus, it's going to be too expensive to buy and to take care of. And it's just, dude, people care about these things too much. Look, we can adopt one, and that might be a thing I might do. If I ever make any money off this, I'll probably like adopt an animal to be a class pet, which is another idea that I'm going to steal from oral presentations. Not like adopt, but like, you get like a name and a tracking number for it and shit. It's like a package. But that's probably what we'll do if I ever get any money from this, which probably not. But who cares? It's fucking fun talking about echidnas. So we're getting an echidna, which is still illegal, but you can buy them somehow. I found a dude on a website from like 2009 selling echidnas for $11,000. And look, this might have been a sting operation because, yeah, this guy didn't have any pictures of the echidnas. He was selling puggle echidnas, which there's no way that you can buy milk replacement for echidnas. So those things were either dead or this is a sting operation. They're trying to catch dudes buying echidnas illegally. Which, I mean, talk about a waste of fucking time, dude. I'd rather have the CIA spying on me than figure out who's buying echidnas and who's not. Who cares? It's just like a kind of cooler hedgehog. All right, leave the boys alone. Um, but look, we're still getting an echidna. All right, that's where we're at with the plan. Um, we're gonna have to find a place to get a lot of ants, and ants are really fucking expensive. All right, I googled it. Dude, 30 ants is like $10. So we might have to start farming our own ants at this point. Which I mean, conveniently, that's like the easiest thing to farm, I guess. Which why are they so fucking expensive, dude? And to be fair, I wasn't finding wholesale ants. I was finding, you know what I mean, like the types of ants that you get for like an ant farm. You know what I mean? No Zendaya. Who was on Ant Farm? I gotta look that up. Nah, dude. Disney Channel show. Ant Farm? No, it wasn't Zendaya. It was a black chick named China. Which, by the way, dude, what's up with black people living in China? That's fucking. I might go beast mode and name my kid Taiwan, dude. Fight back against all the black women named China. I guess Black China. That's her fake last name, and that's obviously like a porn name or whatever. Um, but yeah, ants are really fucking expensive. Um, so we're gonna have to probably farm our own. Dig in for the long haul, by the way. All right. You think an echidna? It's like it can barely see. You know what I mean? It walks like its legs are fucking broken. No, dude, these guys can live for like 40 years in captivity. So yeah, you're getting a parrot with this thing. You're getting a whole person. You might as well look. You might as well adopt a dude with Down syndrome at this point. You know what I mean? Adopt like a 25-year-old dude with Down syndrome. People with Down syndrome don't live as long because I don't know, there's something with the 21st chromosome or whatever. I don't know, but they don't live as long. They don't eat ants. You can feed these guys the cheapest things on earth and they'll be perfectly happy. You know what I mean? They're not fucking spoiled like echidnas. They live for as long. They're not boring as hell. I don't know everything about dudes with Down syndrome. They might be able to lay eggs. Who fucking knows? But you might as well do that at this point, because goddamn, not the greatest thing ever. I feel, but Do not let this thing near the dog, because apparently dogs fucking tear these things up in the wild. That's like their biggest threat in the wild is wild dogs, because they destroy these things. Um, so yeah, don't let Fido near that thing, because he will rip it to shreds. Or if you're kind of getting sick and tired of it, you might like leave the door cracked open, let the dog jump in the cage and rip it apart, and be like, "Oh no!" Pretend to be mad at the dog, but in reality, you just wanted the echidna gone, dude. I mean, your wife left you after she cheated on you. She still took all the fucking money. Tanner's fucking gonna have to repeat biology because I failed him. Talk about the mistake of the century. And I'm just letting the dog kill the echidna at this point. He wasn't laying any eggs for me. The milk is probably the shittiest milk on earth. It's probably filled with hair because they just kind of sweat it out. God damn. But yeah, they're pretty shitty as pets, probably. I imagine they're not like the nicest things on earth. They could be. They could be because they're not very smart, so they might be really nice, but I doubt it. You can't milk them, and they only get like 2 to 3 eggs at a time. And that's like, dude, you're maybe getting that twice a year, and you're probably gonna have 2 echidnas at that point. So you're not even getting the omelet out of this thing. Same with the platypus, but at least the platypus looks sick, and at least you can imagine that it's going out and fighting Doofenshmirtz, who I mean, dude, Doofenshmirtz is like Nazi level, like anti-Jewish propaganda, dude. That shit's crazy. Um, but look, and that's all I've got to say about Monotremes, and that's the end of this episode, dude. The minisode for this week, I've already recorded it. It's a pretty decent one. Obviously not as much, and the reason I already recorded it is because we got Thanksgiving this week. But I'm not skipping episodes over it because I'm like that. I'm built like that. Um, but yeah, I'm just looking at my notes I had for this one. Yeah, you could. I instantly found an echidna for sale, but I could not find a platypus as much as I tried. That's probably because no one's trying to buy echidnas in the first place, so Google doesn't know what to block and what not to block. But yeah, I just think no one gives a fuck about echidnas. Even this new one, dude. Like I feel like you discover a new species like that, like in the year 2023. We've discovered pretty much everything already. I feel like everyone should be talking about that, but no. Instead, everyone's talking about, I don't know, what are they talking about? Sabrina Carpenter? Which, I mean, fair enough, dude. Sabrina Carpenter is way better than a fucking echidna. Sabrina Carpenter, for one, has multiple holes, unlike an echidna. And yeah, she's fucking hot. Right? I don't know where I was going with that one. But yeah. And goddamn, do I need a cigarette right now, dude? I need to feel the cancer entering my body. Because fucking November sucks, dude. What's that song? Wake me up when September ends. Wake me up when fucking November ends. God damn, is it shitty? Worst month. I see why we have Thanksgiving now, dude. Because November sucks so much. You need to have just like an absolute feast. And goddamn, dude, I'm thinking about Sabrina Carpenter still. Um, but yeah, that's all I've got, dude. For this episode, I thought my brain was more ready than it was, but look, I don't think I had too many long pauses, which is like my main problem. I think even if you're talking, even if you're saying nothing, it's still not that bad. But just like those long pauses that I used to have, and that I still do have. That's what makes it really hard to listen to. And also my just general like negative attitude and shitty jokes also probably make it hard to listen to. But yeah, this episode, 50 minutes. I feel like that's what we're averaging. You know what I mean? I said I was trying to get the episodes to be not as long, because just when you're going for an hour straight of talking by yourself and thinking out loud, you're kind of exhausted, which I know sounds ridiculous to say. And especially because it's not like some people might be like, "Oh, I'm a fucking car salesman and I do that all the time." Yeah, you're saying the same thing every time you talk. You know what I mean? This is second nature to you. It doesn't sound like it when I speak, but I'm actually thinking, before I say what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You guys are, if you're like a car salesman, you have like a script that you go through. Um, I don't, clearly. With with how I just stopped talking and went, Sabrina Carpenter, you can tell I don't have a script. Um, but yeah, Monotremes, you're not getting your omelet, dude. You might as well just eat the fucking tail. Uh, but yeah, that's all I've got for this episode. Um, Thanks for listening. If anyone made it to this point, um, yeah, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. That's the next episode I'm going to be recording, is the one that's going to come out next Sunday. Or I guess I'll see you in the mini-sode, or past me will see you in the I don't know. However that works, dude. Look, we're not ever probably going to talk about time travel. Maybe for the 420 special we'll talk about time travel. But for now, dude, no way. Way too complicated. Same with infinity. Same with like space, just in general. We're not talking about any of that. Um, but yeah, that's all I've got for this episode. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your month, or rest of your year, and rest of your life. Have a good rest of your life. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Sunday. Yeah, eat your omelets, and yeah, that's all I've got.